Hi there, this is Manny with Classic Auto Repair. I've got an update on the Mustang. We're able to get some work done on it this weekend to diagnose the issue, and unfortunately the carburetor has a lot of contamination down inside of the bowl, and this very fine sediment has blocked the passageway between the accelerator pump, which I have removed. The accelerator pump had a bad diaphragm on the on this part, but unfortunately that did not fix the problem, because the passageways that go from the accelerator pump on into the carburetor that provide fuel so that the engine will run is restricted, and unfortunately there's just nothing I can do to make this carburetor work. The solution will be to replace the carburetor, which is much more affordable than even sending this out to have it rebuilt. I have companies that will do it, but for the price, it's almost twice the price to send it out and get them to rebuild it versus buying a new carburetor. And then my recommendation will be to put a new fuel filter here to make sure that we're blocking as much contamination. I'm also going to put a heat insulator here because this hose is too tight. It's rubbing on metal, and this is going to cause a vapor lock. In hot conditions, you'll get boiling water or boiling fuel, and that'll make the engine not run correctly. So I'd like to put a heat shield on here and lengthen this hose just a little bit. The other recommendation is installing a fuel pressure gauge right here, and what that does is it gives a reading of the pressures in the fuel line, so that we make sure that we're always running at about 3 to 7 pounds of PSI right here. So I would install the pressure gauge right around this location right here and tap it into this hose, and that's good for diagnostics and just making sure that we're getting good fuel supplied there. With the new carburetor, I'll put all the new vacuum hoses on, the fuel connections, the new choke. I'll get everything installed and the linkage, and then do adjustments, the fuel mixture, the idle, the fast idle, and check the distributor timing to make sure everything is good there so that it's performing at its best. So that's where we're at on this, and unfortunately it wasn't just a quick, easy repair. And my recommendation there would be to make sure the vehicle is started at least every 2 to 3 weeks minimum, and run for 10 or 15 minutes to run the fuel through. It's good to drive the car around a little bit to keep the seals and gaskets wet with the lubrication from the fluids, so that they don't dry out and cause a premature failure. In this particular case, I believe the fuel had it basically, all fuel breaks down over time, and if it sits in a metal box like this for 3 or 4 weeks and evaporates with the Texas heat, then you're going to have just that varnish sediment staying in the carburetor. And these are very small little passageways, and it doesn't take a lot to restrict them. Just like plumbing in a house, you gotta keep it maintained, or you'll suffer from a blockage, and that's kind of what we're experiencing here. So I'll get this information over to you, as well as the estimate, and then it will probably take me about a week to get the carburetor into the shop, about 7 to 10 days. Sometimes I can get them faster, just depends. Once the estimate is approved, we'll request a deposit, usually about half of the bill, and then I'll get to work on it, remove the carburetor completely, and then get it prepped for the new part. Once it arrives, I'll get it installed and start doing the testing and road testing, making sure that it performs the way that it should. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call or a text. I'll get this information over to you here shortly. Thanks for watching. Bye.